Hey, what's up? This is Mitch from Beat Drop, and welcome to our series on EQ. This is part 2, and today we want to talk about two different types of EQs. We're going to talk about the graphic EQ and the parametric EQ. The graphic EQ is a really great way of understanding EQ and the fundamentals. When we talk about EQ, the two main elements are frequency and gain, or sound level. And this is a bit more easily understood with a graphic EQ. I'm going to look at a graphic EQ in front of me here by Voxengo, and you can see these sliders here represents predetermined bands of frequency. You can't change these in a graphic EQ, but these are predetermined. We have 20 Hertz all the way up to 20K, and by sliding this up, I can boost or raise the amplitude of that frequency or the gain, or if I lower it, I'm going to be cutting it at this amount of dB. Now these are really helpful, and when you're starting out, they're great for broad strokes, and graphic EQs have been around forever, and there's some amazing emulations of some analog and classic EQs from Waves and UAD. Another type of graphic EQ is found in Ableton Live called the EQ3, and you'll notice this is very similar to an EQ on a DJ mixer. We're controlling the lows, the mids, and the highs. So there's only 3 bands that we get control here. And again, this is maybe not used for mixing. This would be more of a DJ type mixer, but it's good to understand that this is a graphic EQ. Now, graphic EQs are, actually forgot, there's another graphic EQ that many of you probably have seen is in your iTunes. This graphic EQ, you can boost and raise bands or frequencies, and it comes with some predetermined ones that I think are kind of funny, but a quick way to be able to equalize your iTunes if you're in a bad listening environment. You can mess with that, but that's a graphic EQ. Now the next type of equalizer we want to talk about is the parametric EQ, and I want to just point out a couple of the key features. In this case, we're given 8 bands that we can mess around with and that we can tweak. I have 4 of them turned on right now. The benefit of a parametric is that we can determine which frequency we want to boost or cut or mess with. And by selecting this first pole or band, I can then say I want to hone in on 144 Hertz. Now this is really key to point out this Q setting or Q factor or quality factor or bandwidth or resonance. There's a bazillion names for it. This will control how much neighboring frequencies it's going to deal with and also include. So if I was to boost this right here and mess with the Q setting, you can notice that more frequencies are included. The lower the Q setting, the higher the Q setting, the more precise that it's going to hone in on a certain type of frequency. It's very, very key to understanding a parametric EQ, and we're going to talk more about the Q setting later. In the next video, we're going to talk about filter types and how they can be applied to frequencies, and we'll give you some practical applications for using them. So make sure to check that out.